What compelled you to write Bill Bowerman's story?
Bill Bowerman compelled me to write Bill Bowerman's story. There must have been 15 different things and ways that he helped me from the very beginning at Oregon, teaching us vocabulary words during team meetings, the sense of a story well told, the power of teaching as he was a teacher, that connection that he loved it when we had connections with the other campus people. And so in all these ways, he showed that it was highly valued to be able to tell a good story. And as I got better and better, then he got more and more zeroed in on me to be the one to do the book.
And what is the single most important lesson you learned from Bill?
The single most important lesson I learned from Bill was be yourself. I had some movement to make to get from, especially in training, but basically to accept my own eccentricity and not just needing more easy days in the training, but if I wanted to go and do silly things like being a writer and quitting a big time law school, that was okay, because that was something that I personally was really best off doing. And so the know yourself lesson in 5 different ways was Bill's great teaching for me.
What was something that frustrated you about working with Bill?
Bill sometimes would go a day and not say anything to you. He was thinking about his own things, and sometimes it was just because we hadn't earned his respect when we were really young. But even then, later, when you're a member of the team, he just had long silences, and if you wanted to get to him at those times, you just had to wait. On the other hand, it was frustrating in an honorary way to get phone calls in the middle of the night, and him having been thinking about something that we were working on and having an idea and calling you even late at night or early in the morning because he assumed that you were that important that we should do it right away.
And what is a moment that stands out in your running career with Bill?
I had an epiphany moment because of Bill. In my sophomore year, he basically said, we have a 3-week experiment to do here. You're going to not be an Oregon runner if you can't come through this experiment and do your easy days. For 3 weeks, every other day. I just had to run 3 miles under his sight, 3 miles in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, when I was used to 4 times that much, thinking they were easy. And that was a real struggle. That was because all my ambition was wrapped up in hard work and the whole bargain that we were all taught all of our lives, that I had really bought. The more you put in, the more you get out. Well, that's true up to a point, but I was way past that point. And so Bill called me on it, and we got to the point where 3 weeks later, after finally taking easy days, I ripped off 28-second improvement in my 2-mile time. I went from the 50th best in the country to the 2nd best in the country in one race. Suddenly, Olympic aspirations were legitimate because he had made me do my easy days, and that was the epiphany.
That's amazing. What was his greatest skill as a teacher?
I think his greatest skill as a teacher was the ability to treat us all differently. And if we responded to scripture quotations, he had them at the ready. If we responded to profanity, he could do that too. If we responded to all kinds of different approaches, then he was the man. He lived to get to somebody. He lived to jolt you in all these different ways to get your attention. He said, like it was teaching a mule. Sophomores and freshmen were like mules. We had to have to use a 2x4 on our heads to hammer us. That was his teaching. And one way or another, he was going to break through that barrier and get that lesson in there.
How did he learn about all of you so in such a deep way and so quickly?
He paid a lot of attention, but not necessarily absolute. In all levels, right off the bat. At first, it was just physical. He watched our training like a hawk, and then made adjustments as he thought best, and experimented. And as he got to know us through that, as our personalities bubbled up, if he had some problems, if we saw, maybe with a blind spot, or maybe we're in the wrong event, or some way or another in life that he could render some counsel, we would get more and more shared knowledge. He would always talk about it as, being collegial. And he would say to the youngest of us, all of you, I'm the co-chair because I know all the events, but by the time that you're out of here, you will know as much as I do about your event, and we will be colleagues from that point onward, and I'll probably be learning things from you. And so that kind of thing, boy, the trust of that brought you along.
When did you know you had reached that level of respect with him?
I think in my case, when you always went through life there wanting to earn his praise, wanting to earn his respect, wanting to earn his approval. So many of the Oregon runners will talk about what it was like sort of unexpectedly in the locker room, maybe alone after a big race, and he would come in and put that big warm paw back of your neck, and you would just melt because you made it. And the best thing he could ever say was this quiet little good race. And that got to me, that got to Phil Knight, it got to everybody.
And what do you hope people take from your book?
I hope people take from my book that I don't really know that I can answer what I want them to take, because Bill was a man of such parts, a man of such sweep and range of interests, that what I hope I have done is laid out a wonderful explanation of those interests and of those values, and then let people pick and choose what connects with them best. That's the spirit of Bill, is individuality. So I've done my best to give the whole big catalog, and everybody now, they can make their order as they see fit.
You've done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.